Hello, I'm Cathy from Chilled Mama, and this is one of a series of videos about my starting solids workshops for people who might be interested in becoming a facilitator with me. This one is all about why I created the Starting Solids workshop. It actually all began, I was managing a Sure Start Children's Centre, and I became aware that parents were doing the NHS baby-led weaning talk, and it was a talk. It showed a video, there was a talk, there was a really short time for questions. And they were coming to us with questions, and they didn't get all the questions answered, particularly if they weren't really sure about doing baby-led weaning. They would come, and if they didn't decide they didn't want to do baby-led weaning, the only information about giving purees was going on the internet, and the information on the internet is very much dominated by baby food manufacturers, so it's very biased. And also because the talk was just, this is how you do it, it didn't answer their why, which might have persuaded them that baby-led weaning was actually a good thing to give it a go. So I wanted to create a workshop that was more interactive, that gave parents more time to discuss the issues with each other, that was more, that was evidence-based, that was actually looked at the science behind the recommendations, so that parents would understand the why, not just the what. And I also wanted to look at the difference between earlier weaning and waiting until a baby was developmentally ready. And I was really interested in all of this because I'd been through it all with my children. My eldest, 23, did purees at 4 months. My youngest, who's 9.5, I did baby-led weaning, and for me, baby-led weaning was the easiest. But also I was aware that there was a lot of parenting involved in how you approach starting solids. And as a parenting practitioner, I'm trained to deliver a couple of parenting programs. I was very aware that this is a really important part in the relationship, stage in a relationship, and it can actually set attitudes to food. You don't need a huge amount of nutrition training. I have done some nutrition training, and I've worked alongside dietitians, and when I was working at the Children's Centre, so I gleaned a lot of information from them. But actually, the information is that the workshops give to parents isn't new. It's not different from what the NHS is saying, but it's seeing it as it's giving them the tools to discuss these things. And so that is why it's actually a parenting workshop more than a nutrition workshop. And by giving, it's a very structured session, and there are tools, there are resources that encourage discussion. And what you find is that you don't have to, the parents work it all out themselves. So they have all these questions at the beginning. And my biggest message that I give to parents is not to worry about it, because actually there's good evidence to say that worrying about it can actually make children more stressed and they eat less. And also that parents actually almost can't get it wrong as long as they're giving some finger food. And what I find is that parents at the beginning of the workshop say, I'm not really interested in baby-led weaning, I want to do purees. By the end, are at least going to give some finger food, but a lot decide that they are more confident doing baby-led weaning. And that makes me happy, because I think that they've understood it. And we talk about the pros and cons, and they see that it is so much more than getting your child to eat something, that there is that, whole attitude to food, how we interact with our children and give them autonomy. So there's lots in there. So I would really love to share it with you. So if you think that any of this resonates with you and you would like to become a Starting Solids facilitator, please get in touch. If you are listening to this as a parent thinking, oh, I'd like to do that, then again, get in touch. I have trained facilitators across the country now, so there might be one near you. Thank you very much. End recording.